Hi to everybody, and I welcome all you to the second lectures on this module, that is enrobed and coated meat products, part 2. So in the last lecture, we have seen about the different materials that is used for enrobing. It's for pre-dusting, then batter, then breading. So we have seen different types of additions like cohesions and additions, batter, tempura batter. So in this lecture, I'll be talking about the various steps in the production of the enrobed meat products. So I welcome you all once again to this lecture. What are the products we can enrobe? So in the meat items, we can see the cutlets can be enrobed, chopped beef, pork patties, beef patties, nuggets. All these products can be enrobed. In particular, if you come to the poultry products, we can pre-cooked cut up poultry parts we can enrobe, raw cut up poultry parts we can enrobe, poultry patties, skinless skinless breast strips, giblets, poultry nuggets. Coming to the dairy products, we can enrobe the cheese nuggets, cheese sticks, cubes. Now we are also working with paneer, enrobing of paneer. So we can enrobe different types of products, even the vegetables, the onions, potatoes. This all can be enrobed. So let's understand the stages for enrobing. First is forming. That is, we restructure the products and we can make it into a particular shape, and then we can go for enrobing. Or the whole muscles, for example, if you take the drumstick or the thigh of the chicken or the breast of the chicken, you can do the enrobing. And or the chunked meat, we are cutting the meat into small cubes or the chunks, and then we can also go for enrobing. So after we make the shape, a particular size and a particular shape we go for pre-dusting. If pre-dusting is required, we go for pre-dusting. Then after pre-dusting, we go for battering. Then after battering, we go for breading. Then we go for flash frying or par frying. Then the product is frozen, and it is also packed and frozen also. So these are the various steps involved in making the enrobed meat products. I'll repeat: forming, then pre-dusting, battering, breading, frying, freezing, and packing, or packing and freezing. So let's understand step one by one. The step one is forming. So here we make into different shapes. Either in the commercial production, we'll have the mold. It will be made into different shapes. So if you want to make the cutlets or the patties, whatever you want to make, you make into particular shape and of particular shape and particular weight. Or you can or if you go with the small productions, we can even use the mold. Okay, we can use the mold. Such types of mold can be used, and we make into particular shape, that is called as forming. So nuggets of desired weight and shape, or getting the old muscle pieces, example muscle thigh or boneless breast or boneless cuts can be made, and that can also be enrobed. So first step is forming. Next is pre-dusting. So we have studied about what are the materials that we can use for pre-dusting. So it should be a very fine layers. So it serves as a adhesive, allowing other coat to adhere better. So it will act as a foundation coat. We can say, on which the other coatings will come and bind. Okay, so this will act as a foundation coat, we can say. And to this pre-dust, we can add the seasonings and spices can also be added, are usually added with this layer for better protection. So you can add this spices and seasoning components can be added, and this will also give better flavor, and it has the spices will also have some antibacterial effect. So when we are using the pre-dust, the coating with fine coat of flours or fine bread crumbs can be used for pre-coating. See that the surface of the meat on which we are going to coat should be free from ice patches, and it should not be too frozen. Okay, since it will interfere with the additions. So it will interfere with the addition process. So we have seen what is addition. So it should not be frozen. We have to take care, and there should not be any ice on the surface of the meat or any food material on which we are going to do the coating. We are going to do the pre-dusting. So pre-dust addition can be enhanced by supplementing the dry mix with the proteins such as, to the pre-dust also we can add the certain protein supplements which will help in more adhering. For example, you can add soya, whey protein concentrate, egg albumin, and extraction of meat proteins. All this can be added to the pre-dust, so that help in more addition also. And you can also follow the tumbling and massaging. This also help in better uh, doing the pre-dustings, and it also helps in the tenderization of the meat. So you can also follow the tumbling and massaging also during the pre-dusting process. So how the pre-dusting is done? So it will be after forming, the products will be moving through the conveyor. So the conveyor rollers are used for pre-dusting. There are two types of conveyors that can be used. That is flat belt applicators and drum applicators. Flat belt applicators are used for even surface products. So when you have the even surface product like this one, if you have even surface products, we can go with the flat belt applicators. Drum applicators are commonly used for uneven surface, that is bone-in products. So for such type of products, we go with the drum applicators. So after the pre-dusting is done, the excess dust or the excess powder should be removed. For that, we'll be using the air blower, or we can go with the vibrating conveyor. So we'll be blowing a air, and the excess dust will be removed, or the excess powders that is used for pre-dusting can be removed, or in the vibrating conveyor it will be, when it is vibrating, the excess pre-dust powders can be removed. So this is the flat belt applicators. So this is used for the smooth surface without bones. So it will be moving like this. So you can see here it is used for, it will be moving like this. The same machines, somewhat the same machines can also use for coating also. So it moves like this, and the dust will be pre-dusting powders will be falling on that. Okay, the excess fats are removed. Then to stick better, the press rolls can also be used. You can see the air blower also. The air blower will also remove the excess powder on the products. So after application of the pre-dust, we go for batter applications. So breading will not, why we go for batter is that after the batter applications, we go for what is called as the next third process, that is called as a breading. So if the breading will not adhere to natural products, that is starch will not adhere to the protein. So you know that meat is a protein, and the bread will not come and adhere to the meat easily. To increase the adherence capability, or increase the better adhering of this breading materials to the meat products, we use the batter. Okay, so an additional layer of coating is therefore needed on this. This is nothing but the batter, which contain both starch and proteins. Basically, we use batter as an adhesive layer to hold a coating of breadcrumbs in place. So basically, we do that one. The battering is done to hold the breading materials on the products. Okay, so there is another thing that we can follow. The breading, the batter that we use can be chilled for around 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes in the refrigeration. So this helps the batter adhere to the meat better. Okay, so the batter will adhere better because it became a little more solid-like. So the viscosity will be reduced, and the batter will adhere better to the meat. So after the pre-dusting, the batter is applied. The batter is basically applied to form a layer so that on which the breading material can come and coat. Otherwise, the breading material will not coat properly to the meat. That is why we use the batter. So there are different types of batter. In the last class also we have seen addition batter, cohesion batter, and tempura batter. Addition batter, high solid content, low viscosity, mainly cornstarch or modified cornstarch are used. The ratio of dry ingredients to water, that is for the preparation of batter, we need the dry ingredients, and to that we'll be adding the water. So what is the ratio that is used? 1:1.5 to 1:1.9. So this is approximate ratio I'm telling. So as per your products and formulations, you can change it out. Cohesion batter, thicker than addition batter. Usually it's flour based. This is usually flour based. Addition batter are basically starch based. This is basically floor based. The ratio of dry ingredients to water in this cohesion, if you are using the cohesion batter, is 1:1.5 to 1:2. Okay, this is the ratio, approximate ratio we can use when you are making the batter. That is how much water you can add. Like for suppose 1 kg of 1 kg of flour means to that you can add approximately 1.5 kg of water. Okay, approximately. So you have to standardize that one. Then tempura batter, that is cohesion batter with the significant leavening agent. We have seen already, this is including of baking soda or the yeast or the baking powder. So we have studied in the last class about this tempura batter. So this is the batter applications. Okay, a belt conveyor. After the pre-dustings, it goes and the batter will be applied on this. So excess batter is removed and it can be reused. So after the battering, it goes for breading. So you can see here the crumbs are added on this. It may be different breading materials we have seen. So uniform distribution of crumbs over the substrate, that is the meat or whatever the cutlets or whatever we use, that is the substrate, while retaining the structure of the crumbs. Breaded products look attractive with either coarse or fine layer of crumbs. So you can make it as coarse or fine layers. It all depends upon the size of the breading materials that we use. Crunchy layer will contribute to the tastiness and structure of the products. The breading materials you can divide into two basically. One is grain based and then there's a non-grain based. So grain based flour breading you can use or non-grain flour breadings you can use. So grain based, the flour breading coating that are not thermally processed, they create an uneven and home style appearance. So if you want to have a home style appearance, that is the breaded products that you make in the home, for that you can go with the grain flour breadings. The majority of them contain the flour from the grains. So this will be basically the flour is produced from the grains. So what are the grains that we can use? The wheat grains we can use, rice flours, corn flours, barley flours. All this comes under the grain flour breadings materials. In addition, grain flour breading materials may contain some ingredients like starches, gums, food fibers, chemical levelers, coloring agents, and seasonings. So this we already seen. So to this flour breadings, we can also add this materials like starches, gums, food fibers, chemical levelants, coloring agents, and seasoning. So what is non-grain flour breadings? Non-grain flour breadings includes these flours are not obtained from the grains. It is obtained from the non-grains. Okay, like soya, potatoes. Then we have cassava, the tapioca. This is basically why we go for this type of thing. Is that this is low in carbohydrates. It gives a special texture. It is gluten free, so the allergic people can also use this type of products. And some people are more health conscious and they want the product with a low carbohydrate intake. So in such types of products, we can also develop products using non-grain flour breadings. So this is the breading machines we can see here. So as the product goes, like in the pre-dust, it goes, the breading will be falling on it. Then the press rolls will be there for better addition of the breadings. Then excess breads are also removed by air blowers. So breading granulations is another important things that we have to remember. So that will be affecting the texture and size distribution in the products. So fine crumbs, more surface area. So if you use the fine crumbs of breading materials, then we will have more surface area. So absorption of the oil will be more. So if you are using a very fine materials for breading, then the surface area of that breading material will be more. So it can absorb more oil. Okay. To this, we can also have color or the flavors. The breading materials, to this, we can also add color and flavor. So there are three categories of granules. So that is categories of granules means the size of the breading materials. Okay. So how we'll put into different categories that it based on the mesh through which it can pass like. Okay, the fine means above 60, then it is so here as the mesh size increases, the opening size decreases. I'll repeat, as the mesh size increases, the opening size decreases. So if the mesh size is more than 60, then we'll get a fine. Then medium 20 to 60 mesh, coarse up to 20 mesh. So fine above 60, medium 20 to 60 mesh, coarse 20 mesh. That is, we take the powder products, we sieve it out, and we'll be using the different mesh size. So based on that only we get the fine. It will have a very fine surface, or it will be very fine, so it will have more surface area. The problem with such type of product is it will absorb more oil. Medium 20 to 60, coarse up to 30 mesh. Okay, so that will be sleeved and the products will be taken. It all depends upon the mesh size. So what are the problems that we come during the breading? Insufficient breading means breading voids will be formed. There will not be proper breadings will not be seen. So that you can find there's voids. You can see here there's a voids. Then tinging, discoloration of the coatings. So sometimes excess insufficient breading is not there. The color will be different from the other parts. Underweight products, the products will be underweight. The excess breeding, what are the problems? Overweight products, we get the overweight products. Sometimes we get soft, duggy, or doughy coating. We'll get so we will get, that's another problem we can come across. Floor carry over into the frying oil. So if it's more is the breading materials, this will be passed on to the frying oils. So that will be creating the problems. The oil quality will decrease. The repeated use of oil cannot be done. So these are the problems with when you use excess breading. So insufficient breading, breading voids will get it. Tinging will get it. Tinging means discoloration of the coatings. Underweight products. Excess breading means overweight. We get soft, doughy coating will get. Flour carry over into the frying oil. So the over these flours and other things will be carried into the frying oil. So after that, this breading we go for frying. Frying is another important thing in the breaded meat products. Proper frying will affect the quality. If you're not doing the proper frying, it will affect the quality. So what are the advantages of frying is that contribute to food safety because we are subjecting to high temperature, so that will destroy the bacteria. Good addition of layer of coatings applied. So the layers, different layers we applied, that will be coated better. So microorganisms are killed and the spoilage happens less quickly. Products cooked in oil are also tasty. So here, after the breading, it goes through the conveyor. You can see this is the conveyor. The conveyor from the batter or breading machine passes a path of hot edible oils. So you'll be using the hot edible oils. So this will be falling on this hot edible oil and it will be get fried. So cooking and time, as I already told, is very important. If you are not doing proper cooking, temperature and time is not studied properly, that will affect the products. So longer cooking time, lower the temperature leads to more oil absorptions. So if you are cooking for more time at a lower temperature, more oil will be absorbed. Shorter cooking time and higher temperature. So you are cooking we are keeping at a very high temperature and we are cooking for a very short time, produce a product with a raw feeling, that is improper cooking is there, and the coating breaks up due to quick loss of moisture. So due to the excess or in short time more moisture will be lost, that will also leads to the breaking of the breadings, okay, or the batter will be broken. So cooking time normally we recommend is 10 to 40 minutes at 174 degrees centigrade for large pieces. It will be varying, which we have to standardize, or 7 to, this approximately I'm telling, 7 to 10 minutes at 185 degrees centigrade for small pieces of chicken. In most fried chicken operations, the temperature ranges from 163 degrees centigrade to 184 degrees centigrade, and the time varies from 7 to 15 minutes. So this again you have to standardize as per your products. This is an approximate values are given. So when you are doing the work, you can start with this temperature. You can go up and down, and you can see which is giving the better product. So par frying means it is a not complete frying. So so you can, it is temperature normally used is 175 to 180 degrees centigrade. We keep for 1 minute to 30 seconds like, okay, that is par frying. Flash frying, this is commonly used in the enrobed meat products. So we keep it at a high temperature around 190 degrees centigrade. We fry for around 30 to 60 seconds, or even 2 minutes. It will go live. Okay, that is called flash frying. So whenever the oil that we use for flash frying, it should have a high smoke point. Now, what is smoke point? A temperature at which it will break and it will start giving smoke. Okay, so it should have a high smoking point. For example, if you take most of the oils that we use, like sunflower oil, rice bran oil, will have a smoke point of around 35 degrees centigrade. In that range, we'll get it. Most of the cooking oils, we get it. So you can go for the flash frying. Then what you have to understand, what is fritter. Fritter if pickup is of batter and bread is more than 30%. So if you're adding more than 30% of the green weight, suppose the green weight, for example, if you take a cutlet which is around 100 gram, means maximum after adding this pre-dust, batter and breadings, it can go maximum up to 130 grams, not more than that. Okay, as per the regulations. So if it is more than that, means it is called as the fritter conditions. So you can see here, this is fish chunks or the fillets. You can see the frozen one, deglazing is done. So here it is directly going for battering. They may use 2 pass or 1 pass or 2 pass. So the first batter that we use may be very thin. Then it goes for breading. You can see this breaded. So we have studied about the pass, 1 pass, 1.5 pass, like. Then it goes for pressing. So it will adhere better. So you can see it is pressed. So the breading materials will adhere better. So it's going with the second batter coating, which is much thicker than the first batter that is used. So again, it goes for the breading, second time breading it's going. So you can use like 1 layer or 2 layer, 1 pass, 2 pass, 1.5 pass. So whatever that you want, your product want, according to that you can design 1 pass or 1.5 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, 5 pass. So what is pass? We already discussed in the first lecture. So you can see these are fish fillets. So it is going for frying, flash frying it is going. You can see it's a oil. In the oil it is fried around 190 degrees centigrade. It is fried. So in nutshell, what we have studied, let's see. First is forming of the old muscle or the chunk, that is forming of the product is done. So for example, if you take 100 grams cutlet is made, then coating with pre-dust. So we can coat up to 5%. Pre-dusting can be done. That is 100. It can comes to 110, 105 grams. Then coating with batter. So again, we can add 5 to 10%. Coating can be done with the batter. So it comes to around, if you're adding 10% means it comes around 115, including of 100 plus 5 plus 10. Then coating with breadings, so it can go up to 20 to 30% pickups. So it will come, you can see that total weight is not increased more than 30% of the initial weight of 100 grams. Then it goes for frying. We can go with the part frying or flash frying, we can follow. Then it can go with the packaging. Freezing is done to maintain the structure and the freshness. So thank you very much. If you have any doubts, you can contact in these numbers. Thank you very much. God bless you all. So if you want to have more knowledge on meat, you can refer this YouTube, that is Dr. Sathu Meat Tech. Thank you very much. Once again, God bless you all.